My name is Ibom Air. I am the convener of Movement for Justice and Secretary of Radical Agenda Movements with the Nigerian Bar Association. I'm speaking on behalf of these two organizations who have taken a public interest perception and participation in the two episodes of two citizens of Nigeria. That's King Wasiu Ayinde Marshal and Comfort Emmanson. So, and in respect of this press conference we have convened today, is in respect of the saga of Comfort Emmanson, the lady who was brutalized in the aircraft of Ibom Air. I'm glad to inform you that in the early hours of 12th of August 2025, I had an early morning encounter with this young lady, in which she gave me the first-hand account of our side of the story. Nigerians have been bombarded with viral videos of where she was harassed, beaten, brutalized with her breasts thrown out, and even shown out like a rat of the Ibom Air plane. But there's no account whatsoever of her own side of the story. She was arrested, she was arraigned before the airport magistrate court sitting at Ibom. And then, of course, she was deposited at the Kirikiri Female Correctional Center. So on that fateful day, 12th day of August 2025, I was the first caller at the Female Correctional Center. I was allowed access to see her. When she came in, she was still bearing on her face the full brunt of the emotional trauma of the episode of the day before, which is 11th of August, the entire episode of 11th of August 2025. Upon introduction, she was able to give this very important narration that we have got. Number one, she's a student of Heritage Polytechnic in Kotabasi in Akwa Ibom State. She's even an indigene of Akwa Ibom State. On that fateful day, she boarded that plane for a flight between Uyo and Lagos. Ordinarily, this flight is between 30 to 35 minutes. And in her own usual tradition, she was ordering and emailing her for a cab to take her upon arrival at Murtala Mohammed International Airport in Ikeja in Lagos. It was at this level that Juliana, the air hostess, encountered her. And right there and then told her to switch off, to put her flow on airplane mode, which is a normal precautionary advice from air hostesses around the world. He said immediately she cancelled that order for a ride. And a late passenger who have now gone to the public to corroborate that testimony was with her second phone. And then she even switched off, put the flow on flight mode. But in any event, she thought at that point that was the end of the whole drama. But lo and behold, upon arrival at Murtala Mohammed International Airport, he said, "Banana blocker," and that's the viral video we are now seeing across our social media, in which she was withstood by the Juliana and the other male officials in that flight, encountered her, and then of course all of the rest is story of each history. But the most important fact which she told me was the fact that she was putting on that day a white dress. The dressing in the viral video, in which her breasts were so vivid, was not in any way the dressing she was keen on. That was her inner dressing. She was putting on a white dress with a black leggings and a cardigan with zip up. So all those talk about she's a loose girl, she doesn't dress well, it's not proper in any event, in any material particular. He said it was this Juliana that tore those dresses and even tore the inner dress. But in any event, between then and now, a lot of things have happened. Mr. Festus Keyamo SA has put out a statement in which he said the charges were withdrawn. The charges against her have been withdrawn. She has been released. She has come out on an Instagram page that she is taking rest at a very important at subsequent time. She will tell her full exclusive story of the whole affair. But in our own public interest dimension, we have taken out a fundamental right action in public interest against the President of Nigeria, government of Ibom State, and all that. What is our major argument? Our major argument is that we are now on a speedy flight to descend into the abyss, into breakdown of law and order in this country. If King Wasiu Ayinde Marshal Kwamwa can be made an ambassador, a brand ambassador overnight for the aviation safety for a misdemeanor, why the country, quote unquote, Comfort Emmanson is now more or less has spent 2 nights in prison. Our major argument at this point and demand is that King Wasiu Ayinde Marshal one should be arrested and prosecuted for that misdemeanor. We should not celebrate criminality. We should not turn criminality in this country into a celebration or into celebrities. Well, the argument can be advanced that the same Comfort Emmanson has now been made a brand ambassador. But that is just a deodorization of the ugly incident of how she was maltreated. So we have canonized all these our agitations into a court document in suit number FH/L/CS/1651. And at the appropriate time, we'll be bringing applications in court for appropriate orders of the Honorable Court of mandamus to mandate all these state and non-state actors to obey the rule of law and the cause of social justice. That's our concern. The safety of hundreds of millions of Nigerians who use the air space is our major concern at this point. As I've told you, our position is of public interest position and persuasion. As a human being, she has the choice of pursuing a legal action on her own behalf. The suit we have filed in court is Ayodele Adebimyi versus President, which is my own research, acting in public interest anyway, convinced of my reasonable legal arguments, which I have not put to test in the court document, in the court action, versus President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria and others, and 17 others, including Nigerian Correctional Service, because in the course of my interview with that young lady, I was told it is enough, because she was giving me exclusive details. I think they now woke up to the fact that it was a very high-profile matter that I came for. I've highlighted all these issues to show that the issue goes beyond whether or not Comfort Emmanson has been used. Out of 1,199,000,000 Nigerians, because if you have decided for the period in which the balance of justice can be treated higher for the rich and lower for the poor, we are already in what Thomas Holmes calls the state of nation, where life is nasty, brutish, and short. The scales of justice have been lowered in Nigeria. That is our own conclusion, and we have issues to join with the Nigerian state actors. This Ayodele Adebimyi, and the legal practitioner, the convener of Movements for Justice, and Secretary of Radical Agenda Movement.